Hi, I'm Elizabeth Adams. I'm a digital learning coordinator. We are at Knightdale High School, and today's Canvas chat is about how Mr. Powers-Maher uses visual cues to help his students navigate his Canvas course.
My name is Nicholas Powers-Maher. I go by Mr. Powers at my school. I work at Knightdale High School. I teach ESL, and this is my second year here with the newcomers teaching the ESL 1 level. I started using Canvas when I came to Knightdale High School, had no experience with it, but our media center coordinators were offering support, so I went up to them with my computer, we sat down together, and they helped show me some different options for how I can lay mine out and make it user-friendly for all students, not just my students. So a lot of what's in my course comes directly from the media center coordinators who helped me in August of 2022. All right, so now I'll give you a tour of one of the modules in my Canvas course that I'm using right now. So right here, we're in one of my unit-based modules. I'm doing unit modules as opposed to week modules or lesson modules. So we're in Unit 2. I use icons on titles generally to show that it's going to be graded. I try to tailor the icon to the theme. If we are doing something about calendars, I put a calendar icon. I can tell my students if you see a picture on the title, then it's going to be graded. Also, they can look at the points. If you don't see a picture, it's just for practice. I also put the dates on the assignment, so that way as we're learning the language of calendars every day, I can tell them when you're in Canvas, look for today's date, and that is today's assignment. I lay out my modules like this with the vocabulary slides first, because within each unit there are subtopics, and I want those topics to be together, so everything is under those. So I'm going to talk about how I use visuals to support my students in using Canvas. Again, I always have an icon to represent the theme and to show students it's going to be graded. I have the date so they understand how things are organized. I break things up with pictures so they're not being hit with a block of text. So this is about daily schedule and time, so there's a picture of a clock. I do separate tables for each step in the process. So there's a whole class lesson, and then there's independent work, and then there's turning it in. So 3 major steps, 3 different tables. You can do one whole table, but if you're going to color code, it's all going to be one color. That's not really color coding. So I do separate tables so I can use separate colors. Whenever we do a lesson, I make it blue, because that's how I did it the first time on the first day of school, and I just kept duplicating and figured instead of reinventing the wheel, I'm going to work smarter and save myself some time and get my students used to the same structure from day one. So I always tell my students, if you want review, look at blue. Blue, review, they rhyme. And then when they're ready to turn it in, they need to look at the brain and read the pink table. So turn it in is pink, do the work is yellow, and review is blue. So if they forget where the work is, I tell them every time you do a graded assignment, you're going to the yellow. I use pictures to indicate, even within the table, what each column represents. So for this assignment, we use Google Slides. So this is a Google Slide icon. Here are steps to represent steps. If they, for example, were to do any application like a Nearpod or a quizzes, here, I put the icons for those applications. So they know, okay, this is that blue application called Nearpod. So they get used to the icons, the dates, and the colors, and they start asking, am I looking for the pumpkin? Am I looking for September 28th? Should I open the blue? Should I look at the pink? And I even see them telling each other, well, if you don't know what to do, look at the yellow. Well, if you're done, look at the pink. So it gives them something comprehensible because it's visual and it supersedes their language barrier. When talking with my students about, I try to get them to reflect a lot so I can be better. So I ask them sometimes, is it easy to use and why? And we talk about that. So they've told me because I put the dates on, it helps them know like, oh, this is for today, not for last week. Also, it helps them if they know they were absent on a specific date. It's easier for them to find that work. If I say you were out on the 10th, they know to go look for the 10th. The pictures help them, not only from a vocabulary standpoint because it gives them a concept for the words that they're seeing on the screen and they don't speak a lot of English. It's just visually appealing, so it's not this big block of text with no colors and no pictures. They also appreciate that it helps them hold themselves accountable and helps them hold each other accountable. So I have students who say, it's really easy to use, my seat neighbor struggles, so I show him what to do because I feel really confident in using it. And I've had students come up and tell me about this and that they feel more efficacious, more capable navigating something that was so foreign to them when they first arrived.
If you're interested in Canvas or any other digital learning support, contact your DLCs at dlc.wcpss.net.